Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Carolina Panthers Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. We are your hosts for this evening. Myself, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, accompanying me once again, Mr. Carolina himself. How you doing, DJ?
I am blessed, my brother. How have you been?
I've been good. March is here.
Yes, yes. The March is here. That much closer to the draft, free agency, and for me personally, that much closer to the wedding.
Day by day, closer
Yes,
and
sir.
closer. The weather's been kind of weird lately. A few days ago, it's been like in the high 60s and 70s, and then yesterday it was in the low 40s over here in
Which is
Wake Forest. It was weird.
which is weird. Well, I just came back from Florida not that long ago, and we was down there. It was the lowest it got was like the 80s, and then we got that back when me and my fiance flew back to Virginia. The temperature when we came back was 41, so we went from 80 something to 40 something.
Ah, dang.
Yeah, it was a stark difference. And I can't look. I flew back in like a little muscle shirt and some shorts, and my wife he was looking at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, hey, I got used to that Florida weather.
Yeah, totally understandable. I don't blame
Mhm.
you. So, yeah, we're gonna get on here just for a little while. A couple of things have happened. We want to talk about potentially the New England Patriots are interested in Robby Anderson. We got that. Of course,
Mhm.
we just recently finished restructuring Taylor Moton's contract, which frees up 11 million in cap.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we're seeing some moves made. Stephon Gilmore and the Carolina Panthers are still in talks. I believe they're still in talks with D-Jack as well.
Okay.
And they still have to talk to Cam Newton before making a final decision like, are we going to go for him? Are we going to let him walk? They want to meet with him before doing anything.
Right, which is smart. Which is a smart thing to do. And I like the way we're doing it this time around. Scott Fitterer, props off to you because you're handling this situation the way that we should have handled it the first time when Cam was here.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to him. Where are you at? Not just we're going to work with him. You spend all that hoopla, in the media. Oh, Cam wants to be traded. Cam doesn't want. Cam never said that. Cam never said he didn't want to be here. He never asked for a trade. So I respect Scott Fitterer for the way they're handling the situation this time.
Exactly. And I feel that, at least being that he wants to have that meeting with him, that in person meeting with
Yeah.
him, weigh all the options, see where Cam Newton is at, because it can be beneficial, especially if he decides that, yes, he does want to come back for another year or two, because
Mhm.
he could end up being that perfect bridge quarterback for us, especially if, say, we do end up getting a Malik Willis.
I can see that. And I told you that earlier. I don't see me personally, and I know we're going to talk about this, briefly, since we have this brief time. If for me, if we nail free agency, like I feel like Scott Fitterer can,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no reason we can't swing for a Malik Willis or a even Desmond Ritter. Kenny Pickett would be like my third quarterback, but there's no reason we can't swing for one of those guys with the number 6 pick. But we only do that if we handle business in free agency. If you don't handle business, if you don't sign a Brandon Sheriff, if we're going to keep if we're going to keep Brady Christian at left tackle, go get you a suitable, not just a bargain basement guard. Go get you a suitable left guard and let Brady Christensen play left tackle. That I'm quite all right with.
Mm-hmm.
But you only get one of these rookie quarterbacks once you solidify with a veteran presence that offensive line. That's the only reason we would do that with the number 6 pick.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. And oh, Mamba just chimed in. Welcome, Mamba.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm down to trade Robby, but Panther fans are
Mhm.
crazy to think that we are going to get a second for a 28-year-old wide receiver who just had a massive decline in production. Okay, let's jump into this. I'll say this.
Mhm.
I get where you're coming from, Mamba. Definitely there was a decline, but
It was.
you can't 100% put that on Robby Anderson because he had Sam Darnold. So
Good point.
can he still be productive? I believe so. I mean, we've seen it
Mhm.
before with Teddy Bridgewater, but I do want to emphasize, yes, production was down, and I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, DJ still had 1,000 yards receiving. I get that. I'm not looking down on that, but we still had Sam Darnold.
And a not fully in shape, fully invested in the offense, Cam Newton.
Yeah. So, if anything, yeah, Robbie did have a good, decent number of drops. So I
Mhm.
feel like that is something that he's definitely going to need to fix going into next season. But the idea of us getting a second, I don't think it's impossible.
Not for a team looking for a deep threat. Now, we've seen, I mean, did many people really think that the Jets were going to get a second round pick for Sam Darnold?
No.
Robby Anderson has been way more productive. And I know it sounds crazy because the quarterback position is way more important than a wide receiver. I 1,000% get that. But Robby Anderson is not out of the realm that if, and we have to look at it from this aspect as well. It's not the value that we see as him for us.
Hmm.
If New England sees him at that value, then they'll give that up for him. If New
Exactly.
England doesn't see him as a second round value, you're right. They're not going to give us a second round pick for Robby Anderson because they don't see him worth a second round pick. Now, is it possible that we can get a second or a third? I wouldn't be mad at a third round pick. Robby Anderson, for me, is at least worth a third round pick. Yes, he had the dropsies, bad, the bad dropsies. But like you said, he had Sam Darnold. He had a coming in week 10, Cam Newton, not fully known into the offense, but for what it's worth, and I know me and you talked about this off air,
Hmm.
even if we let Robby Anderson go,
Hmm.
we have the rookies or second year guys now to replace what little production that he had. Terrace Marshall is ready to take over for Robby Anderson. Shi Smith can be put into the slot. Amir Abdullah, if I hope we resign him, can take over some of those catches. Chuba Hubbard can take some of those catches. We get Christian back. Robby Anderson's production can be replaced easily.
Yes,
Are we
that.
going to miss him? Yeah. Are we going to miss him? Sure.
Hmm.
But it's not like he's a lifelong Panther that we're going to be like, oh my God, Robby Anderson's leaving. No.
Exactly. And second or third round, because you have to remember we don't have either right now.
I'll take either one.
So either one is totally fine with me. Um, Mamba says Sam can't handle Robbie dropping passes. I mean, a lot of folks can't handle Sam's lack of production
Or picks.
or picks. I mean, 7 and 11, that's not a good ratio.
That's not 18 million, 18, $19 million worth of production. I'm sorry.
Um, Joe Valesco, welcome to the chat. He says Matt Rule doesn't agree with moving Christian McCaffrey to a slot receiver.
Um, I could understand that. I could understand that because Christian has been um productive as a running back and he's productive getting out of the backfield. But again, as we discussed off air, Amir Abdullah and Chuba Hubbard show that they can produce the same numbers that Christian can. Now, granted, it's from two different people,
Right.
but it's the same production that Christian gave you at a far cheaper price. And we also discussed this, and I just read an article before we did this of, I know it sounds crazy and asinine, and I hope to God we don't trade him to Buffalo, but say we do trade Christian McCaffrey away. Christian McCaffrey is still worth a first and second, or a second or third round pick
Hmm.
easily. But again, it's what value does that other team see him as?
Right.
If they don't see him as a first round pick, if they don't see him as, okay, he's not worth me giving you my first round pick, which again, of course, we talked again. He's been injured the past couple of years, so the he has not been on the field to show his production. He's
Hmm.
been hurt.
Right.
So I'm not going to give you a first round or second round pick for a guy that can't stay on the field. It doesn't benefit my team.
Right.
I'm helping you, and I'm not helping me. So if we do trade Christian and if we do trade Robby, make sure that we're getting fair market value for a guy. I know for one guy that has been an All Pro, for another guy that has potential to hit home runs, and that's something that New England could use. But again, he also has the dropsies.
Yeah, that much is true. And like you said, the value level is really what it comes down to. Now, just like going back to Robbie, if New England wants to give us a second round, I'll gladly take that. So,
I'm not going to say no. Yeah, we're not going to say no.
but hey Tito Z, what's up?
What's going
Um,
on,
he says, "What's up, champ and Mr. Carolina? Who has to go if we get a new quarterback? Sam, Cam, or PJ?"
PJ?
Yeah, it's
That's not even a question.
it's got to be PJ mainly because, like I said,
We owe Sam
Sam.
too much money.
Yeah, we still owe Sam fifth year option, that 18 mil. So yeah, PJ would have to bite the bullet. Um, Mamba says, I think we could get a third or a fourth. I heard that New England might add a player also.
Hopefully, a lineman,
Yeah, a lineman would be very nice.
a guard, preferably.
Um, he also says we can't put it all on Sam. Everybody on offense has done some things that has contributed to another 5-win season. It's a team sport.
Absolutely, we're not putting
Hmm.
it all on Sam. Now, I would never. Football is the ultimate team sport, so I would never fully put it all on Sam Darnold. We all know, and we all watch the games. Our offensive line was atrocious.
Yes.
That was quite evident. It was quite atrocious. But from a coach's perspective, now again, I'm giving y'all something from, because again, I still coach. I still coach middle school, I coach high school, and I coach semi-pro football. From
Hmm.
a coach's perspective, if my quarterback is not on par, a lot of times quarterbacks are able to make up for the mistakes of their linemen.
Hmm.
Aaron Rodgers did not have the best offensive line, but he got the ball out of his hands quickly and he made smart decisions. The Super Bowl winning Rams, even though they had a nice line, Matthew Stafford had to make smart decisions at certain times to cover up the mistakes of his offensive lineman.
Hmm. Exactly.
You have to, at some point, as a quarterback, we've seen it here in Carolina. When Cam was in his prime years, he had to get rid of the ball or get out of the pocket to make up for the mistakes of his lineman.
Right.
Now, yes, we all know Cam Irving was hot garbage.
Yes.
Pat F-line and left guard was hot garbage. John Miller, Jesus Christ, please hurry up and pack your bags and get out of here.
Hmm.
Matt Paradis, he wasn't the best. Taylor Moton was the only rock steady we had on the line until Brady Christensen. They finally let him play
Right.
left tackle. Okay, and then we finally got to see what Deontay Brown can do.
Yep.
Ooh, now you have three linemen that you can build around. So that's what I said. If we do this trade with New England, make sure you get a lineman back in return. Don't give me we don't want no more pretty boys. We don't want no more specialists. Give us a lineman back in return and then go find you another one in free agency. Again, that would allow us to take the best player available at number 6.
Agreed. Most definitely agreed. Um, Interesting fact. So if traded, Robby Anderson, the cap hit for New England
Mhm.
would be 13 million in this year, and then 12 million next year.
How much does that save us?
If I remember correctly, I think it saves us about 9.
So we're at what, 30 million? So that would put us almost close to 40 million in cap space.
So apparently with the adding of Taylor Moton, the 11 mil, it actually put us at 26. So
Mhm.
add the 9 million.
35.
Yeah. So it would put us about 35, it seems.
Which would allow us to re-sign Gilly, which would allow us to go get a lineman, give D-Jack a 1-year prove-it deal,
Hmm.
and let Hassan say, hey, let's see what you can find in free agency. But again, if I have a stud defensive tackle, it makes my defensive ends look that much better. Why? Because that quarterback cannot step up into the pocket,
Right.
which allows that rush to get there on the outside. So again, like we talked about, if Derek Brown shows up like the top 10 pick that we made him to be, and we get a suitable defensive tackle next to him, not a run stuffer, but we get an athletic like what's my big dog's name? You know exactly who I'm talking about. The defensive tackle we had a couple years ago. God, his name escaped me. I played next to Star. Uh,
K1 Short.
KK. If we get someone like KK next to Derek Brown, it makes Gross Matos. It would make Brian Burns and all these other boys look. That Marquise Haynes, if we bring him back, it makes them look that much more valuable to the team. It makes them look like superstars.
Yes, and I also agree that Marquise Hayes was a good rotational
He was.
defensive end. So he's one that I would definitely consider.
Mhm.
Mamba has an interesting idea. So he says we can have about 55 million in cap space if we trade Robbie
Mhm.
and restructure the contracts of both Christian McCaffrey and Shaq Thompson.
Which need to be done. Which need to be done. And I said we talked about this off air as well. I said, hey, you go to Christian, say, hey, we appreciate what you've done for this franchise. But in order for us to build a suitable line so you're not getting crushed by the time you get the ball, we need to restructure your deal. Hey, Shaq, in order to keep these big, heavy linemen off of you, we need to go get another stud defensive tackle so you can get back to the all-pro linebacker that we know you are. So we need you to restructure this deal because we want to get back to playoff contention sooner rather than later.
Yeah, help him out by adding more pressure to get pressure from the D line because that's where it
Mhm.
starts. That's where it starts. Jeff R joining us in the stream as well. Jeff R, good to see you. He says, I don't know why NFL coaches focus so much on arm talent. What makes a good quarterback is his situational decision making. We need a good decision maker. Then we can put small pieces around him. Problem solved.
I agree. Arm talent is cool. You can throw the ball a country mile. But if you can't hit me in stride, if you can't thread that needle sometimes, if your decision making sucks to the point that you're costing us games, I don't care how strong your arm is, dude. If your arm keeps throwing it to the other team, you're not helping me. You're not helping what's
Exactly.
going on. So even let's say with the quarterbacks that we have coming out of the draft, and even with the quarterbacks in free agency, none of them are Super Bowl or even second round caliber quarterbacks. Again, Mitchell Trubisky is getting all this praise because there's nobody really else in free agency to compare him to. Like, who are we comparing him to? Jameis Winston?
Yeah.
Are we comparing him to Marcus Mariota, who hasn't really played, significant time in the past few years? Are we
Right.
comparing him to Tyrod Taylor? No disrespect. Are we comparing him to Jimmy Garoppolo, which we better not, in God's sweet name, trade anything for, or Kirk Cousins, who's 33?
Yeah, it definitely became more risky being that Jimmy Garoppolo is getting shoulder surgery, and
Hmm.
word is that it's not expected to be able to, I guess, return until this summer, and that's going to cut into training camp.
So again, Scott Fitterer, smart. If you're smart, and like we know you are, you made these trades. If you're looking at the quarterback market, and we know we're a quarterback needy team, all right. So what you do is you say, "Hey, Cam, this is what we can do. We're going to give you a 2 year deal. Okay, we're going to give you a 2 year deal, but understand you will be that bridge quarterback
Hmm.
for whoever we pick up in the draft." But they're going to go to Cam like this too. If I'm Scott Fitterer and this I'm going to Cam Newton, we're going to build an offensive line in front of you like you've never had.
Hmm.
We have the right tackle. We potentially have a great left tackle. Whether we draft, we move Brady Christian inside our left guard or not, we keep him where he is. We have a right guard in Deontay Brown. We're going to go get you a suitable left guard and a center to keep you upright. Because we know last year was just a turnstile. It looked really bad.
Hmm.
But what we're going to do, and I said, and I promise y'all again, mark my words. If we do all of that in free agency, there are too many coincidences to drafting Malik Willis. He went to the same high school as Cam Newton. He played on Cam Newton's 7-on-17. They're both from the same area of Georgia.
Yep,
There are too many people that say, "Hey, Cam,
both Atlanta guys.
we're going to draft Malik Willis. We want you to groom him to take over this franchise when you're done." If we do that, Jay,
Hmm.
if y'all listen, watch me, and y'all can look, start this video, whatever you're going to do it.
This will be
If
archived.
we if we do that in free agency, if we take care of the line, watch us go pick up Malik Willis at number 6 and let's sit him down for a year or two and let him learn under Cam Newton. Because Sam's going off the books next year. And if we do that, Sam's not even seeing the field. Sam Darnold will never play another Panther game except for maybe preseason.
Yeah, I definitely don't doubt that. Um, Mr. Gemini's joining us in the chat as well. What's up, Mr. Gemini?
Uh,
He says, "What do y'all think about David Tepper saying that he loves and wants Kenny Pickett?"
David Tepper have several seats.
Yeah, David Tepper needs to.
Have several seats. You you ain't said nothing really this whole off season. Now you want to say something now? Come on, man.
This is
Nah, bro.
this is coming from somebody that wanted Matt Rule because he reminds him of himself. So
Yeah, we see how that's played out for you, Playboy. How's that played
yeah,
out for you?
it's
Nah,
like
bro. Have several seats.
just focus on being the owner. Just be the
Yeah,
owner.
that's what you don't be Jerry Jones. Please do not be our Jerry Jones. Go have several seats. Okay, because we're talking about a guy, and I said no disrespect to Kenny Pickett. Again, no disrespect to dude. You had 4 years at this school at Pittsburgh. You never ever showed any kind. You in 4 years combined, what they were saying, he didn't go over 30 something total touchdowns in 4 years at Pitt. Now, because you had one good year, you're 23 years old playing against 19, 20-year-old kids. I hope you would show out because you're a
Hmm.
grown man playing against kids almost damn near fresh out of high school. So you're gonna look real good playing against little boys. Now, when you go to the NFL, there's gonna be a bunch of grown men that's ready to tee off on you, and it's not going to be the same.
Hmm.
It's really not going to be the same. Now, what they're going to do is if they do that, we're going to swing for the fence, and it's going to set us back. Do not draft Kenny Pickett at number 6. Do not do it. He does not move the needle at all.
Well said. Well said.
Mm.
Mamba says hand size should not be make or break for some people, especially in this era. Remember, people are already writing off Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow because their hands are small for a quarterback.
I'm not knocking for his hand size. Like I really don't care. I don't. Well, I'm pretty sure my hands are bigger than Kenny Pickett, but I really don't care about none of that. I'm going based off of production.
Yeah,
He didn't
exactly.
produce for 4 years at Pitt, bro. He didn't produce for 4 years. You had one good year, and you're 23 years old.
All right.
You're 23. You're not 21. You're not 20. You're 23. And it took you your 5th year playing college football in order for you to break out. I don't care about the hand size. That's cool. He gonna be in Carolina anyway. It ain't like it's super cold down here.
Mm-hmm.
Your production did not blow me away. It did not give me any inclination that you can take the next year. Kenny Pickett, and again, mark my words, Kenny Pickett is who he is. He has reached his ceiling. Now he'll be nothing more than what he is right now. Just an okay quarterback.
Indeed. And one of the things that has been kind of said, just talking a little bit about the combine, is
Mm-hmm.
the question that kind of remains with Malik Willis. Definitely has the arm
Mm-hmm.
talent, definitely has the accuracy, but when it comes to the reading defenses, and this is probably goes back to your point of let him sit,
Yeah.
let him get acclimated, let him absorb as much as he can absorb,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the time comes, barring the starter doesn't get any sort of injury, then
Put him
let
out
him
there.
put him out there. Tito Z says CMC absolutely should be restructured. I would sit him down and ask him, "What have you done for me lately? We need to fix this now."
This is a production league. CMC, as much as we love him, has not done anything recent in the past couple of years.
Yeah,
We're paying you. He got that contract based off of what he did. You have not done that recently in the past couple of years. So I'm gonna need some of that money back, Playboy. That's like you going to your job and we're not producing that. They paid us. We got that bonus off of our production,
right.
and we're not still producing at that level. They're gonna be like, look here, I need some of that money back. I'm gonna need you to take a pay cut because you're not producing at that level anymore. Matter of fact, you're not even showing up to work.
Yeah, exactly.
What am I
Um,
paying you
Rome's good to see you. Welcome to the chat.
for?
Mamba also says, "I'm not surprised that David Tepper loves Kenny Pickett. He is from the Pittsburgh area."
That's cool. How did yeah, okay? Now somebody tell me, Mr. Tepper, how did that work out for Matt Rule bringing in all these Baylor and Temple guys? Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait. Don't worry.
One of them was Robby, who we could be saying bye bye to.
That's what I'm saying. We got to stop this because you're from my neighborhood, you're from my area, and I'm from that, so I'm going to bring you in. That's cool. I get the loyalty thing. Nah, bro. Nah.
It's cute.
Like it's adorable. If you were in high school, it's real adorable. It's like your grandma pinching you on the cheeks. You ain't seen her in a minute. That's real adorable. You got some cupcakes for me, grandma? Thank you. We're not here for cute. We're here to win. And Kenny Pickett, as much as you may like him, Mr. Tepper, is not going to move the needle for this team. He's really not. He is another Sam Darnold, and I'm gonna call a spade a spade. That's another Sam Darnold waiting to happen. Take the gloves off. You're not Ben Roethlisberger. Stop it.
And we also are reminded that originally Robby Anderson said that he would be more interested, if he were to be traded back to the Jets. And
You know how
with
bad. You know how bad it's got to be though when you want to leave Carolina to go back to the Jets.
Yeah,
That means there's
exactly.
something really bad going on in your organization.
Um, Interesting question from Mamba. He says, "Do y'all think that we would have taken Justin Herbert if the Chargers didn't take him?"
Yes,
Yeah, that's a
we
good
needed
point.
him. We needed him. We
Yeah.
need a quarter, and that's what I say. The more we wait, and again, I have no faith, and I said, forgive me for saying it. I have no faith in this free agent quarterback class. Zero faith. There's nobody that we're going to bring in unless we're bringing them in as a stopgap. But why would we do that when we have a stopgap quarterback already in the building that can do that? Nobody in this free agency class is going to move the needle to the point where we become this all-star caliber team. But if you're bringing them in as a bridge to next year's draft, say
Hmm.
we don't take them this year, You have two quarterbacks right now in the building that can be your bridge gap to the quarterback for next year. So why bring in somebody else to do the same thing that you already have the quarterbacks in house that can already do?
Oh, that's a really good point. I mean, we got to be smart about it. We got to be really smart about it because we got quite a hole to dig ourselves out of. Especially if the idea is win now, we got to make the type of win now realistic decisions.
Mm-hmm. Restructure, get you some offensive linemen. Now, granted, there's some stud tackles coming out of this draft. But if you can get you a proven offensive guard or a proven center, even like I said, even if we trade Robby for a second, third round, again, that name to watch, as we talked about off air, the name to watch is that center out of Boston College. If we get a second or third round pick, I pray to God we pick him up in the second or third round. Because again, like I said, we got Ryan Khalil in the second round, and he turned into an all-pro center for us. You don't got to be a top 10 pick to be a great offensive lineman. And as you pointed out on the show before, we got Andrew Norwell off of the undrafted free agency list. He turned into an all-pro left guard. You do
Yep.
not have to be drafted in top 10 to be an all-pro. You really don't.
Now, the lineman from Boston College, are you talking about Zion Johnson?
The center, whoever the center is.
Because okay. So not Tyler Lindenbaum.
No, not Tyler Linderbaum. It's the center from Boston College. They was talking about him on it. They said he might be a second or third round still as a center.
Okay, I'm looking it up. If anybody in the chat happens to know the name, chime in because I don't know. Oh, Alex Lindstrom. Thank you, Rome's.
There you go.
Thank you, Rome's.
Cool. Thank you. That's him right there. Watch what I tell you. He's going to be a great center for years to come.
Mamba says, I like Desmond Ritter and Malik, but nobody else really blows me out of the water. And
No.
he also says, if we take an offensive lineman, then we need to take a center. I trust Brady to take a leap next season. And you know what's interesting about that? Newly signed James Campen, our offensive line coach, even said it himself. We should have been playing Brady Christensen at left tackle more than
The whole time.
3. We only played him 3 games.
I wonder whose idea that was.
James Campen, somebody that's known for and has the multiple years of experience behind coaching an offensive line.
Hey, Matt Rule. You I call him, and I'm gonna get my wife jokes with me. I'm gonna get a shirt that's trademarked that says BSD. Now you laugh because I think you know what BSD stands for. It's BSD. They call him a big slow dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've trademarked that. Y'all don't feel that's a trademark. I'm gonna get a shirt that says big slow dummy. I'm gonna get a picture of Matt Rule underneath of it. And you a big slow dummy. Like you should have been playing dude at left tackle, bro. That's what we drafted him for. Let the man play his position, bro. I said this is BSD. Trademark that. We're gonna get shirts like that made. BSD.
BSD.
Big slow dummy or BFN.
I love it.
You know what BFN is, right?
BFN.
Big for nothing.
Oh, big for nothing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Just dumb.
Tito Z asks, how do y'all feel about Charles Cross?
Love him. And I said we talked about this as well. What I don't understand though is if Charles Cross, in so many people's mind, is the best pass blocking tackle in the draft, why is he behind Evan Neal and I can't say his name right, Ikem
Ekwonu.
Why is he behind those two in just about everybody's mock draft? Why?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's it. To me, it doesn't make sense.
Because that's definitely what he's been praised about quite a lot
Mm-hmm.
is his elite pass blocking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which we need.
indeed, I mean, considering um, Sam Darnold got sacked 36 times last
Mm-hmm.
season, I mean, we need the best on that line. We really
We
do.
need the best. We need the best that we can get. And as I said, even okay, and I would understand. Okay, say we don't want to trust it to a rookie offensive lineman, which I can understand. Make sure that you go get veteran leadership on that offensive line. Then make sure you go get somebody productive that's
Right.
been productive on the offensive line. If you don't want to go with a rookie, I get that part, but that way you don't have to trust your offensive line to a first year player, and that way we can go get that franchise quarterback at number 6 and let him be groomed behind Cam, Sam Darnold. You shouldn't even be in the room,
Right.
but Cam and well, just let him groom behind Cam if we bring Cam back.
Because my whole thing is if the quarterback has plenty of time with who we have, I have no doubt somebody's going to break free.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have the weapons around to be productive. We just again, like a lot of teams know, a lot of teams notice, a lot of fans notice, if you do not have the quarterback play, it doesn't matter. You could have Michael Irvin, Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith, Tony Gonzalez, um, Jerry Rice, everybody. You can have all these stud players at the skill position, but if that guy that holds the ball 100% of the time is not on his game,
Right.
if his leadership sucks, if his accuracy sucks, if his arm talent sucks, if his ability to manage games in tough situations sucks, it does not matter because we're not going to win because he's going to crumble when things go hard.
Yep. That's exactly the point. Indeed. You couldn't have said it any better. Um, Mamba says, if by some chance Kyle Hamilton falls to us, then we need to take him. He is literally if Ed Reed and Tyron Mateo had a baby. Uh, as much as I would like to support that, we are hurting way, way more on O line.
That's what I said. The only way I see us doing that, and I say in all honesty, bro, is if we nail free agency.
Yeah,
If we nail free agency and we say, hey, you know what? We're going to go offensive lineman. We're going to get a guard and we're going to get a center, um, guard or center, and we're going to get a defensive tackle. We bring back Gilly. We bring back DJ. That would be the only way I would see us getting a safety. A safety is cool, but a safety does not have as much impact on his game in the NFL as he may in college. He's not.
hmm
And as much as I would love to get a safety like that, we can get a free agent safety to fill whatever he's doing.
yeah.
He's a phenomenal athlete. I
Oh,
will not take that from him.
right.
Phenomenal. But right now, our organization is not in a position to take a swing on a safety, like you said, when we need offensive line help. We need a quarterback way more than we need a safety.
Right. And I agree. Like I said, I have no doubt that he is most likely the top safety in the draft.
Oh yeah.
But but I just feel like it would be way too much of a sacrifice of what we need at O line and
Mm-hmm.
quarterback to
We
to
need a
really.
defensive tackle more than a safety.
Yeah. And let's not forget linebacker as well. Sup, James Aaron? Good to see you. Speaking of the draft, so let
Mm-hmm.
me let me pull this up so that um the folks in the chat can see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me shift this over. Okay, So looking at the first round, now, if I have to say who I feel also is going to be striving to get a quarterback. Now, I'm thinking Atlanta's a possibility because, like I said, Matt Ryan is getting up in age, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna want a quarterback for the future.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could see Denver going
Definitely.
going for a quarterback. I
Mhm.
can see the Washington Commanders going for a quarterback.
That's all they talk about here. I live in Virginia. That's all they talk about is quarterback, quarterback, quarterback.
Right. Um, I could see Pittsburgh, even though they're at the 20th pick, I could see
Mhm.
them entertaining the idea of a quarterback.
Because they don't, whatever they have in the building, Haskins and I don't remember the other guy's name, but that's not who you want to go forward with as your quarterback options. I'm sorry. That's like us saying, hey, you know what? We're going to go forward with Sam Darnold and PJ Walker.
Right.
No.
Now, looking back over this, Atlanta's number 8, Denver's number 9, Washington's number 11, Pittsburgh's number 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I know we got the 6th pick. Philadelphia has 15, 16, and 19.
Mm-hmm.
The two things that I'm thinking about in this first round,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking considering see where oh yeah, the Jets have 2 picks as well. They have 4 and 10, which
Mm-hmm.
I would see about entertaining negotiating with Denver or Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, see if we can give up our 6 and try to get Denver's ninth and maybe perhaps get a second because Denver has 2 picks in the second round. They
I
have
take one.
pick 40 and they have pick 64. So Denver has 2 picks in the second round. I'm wondering if perhaps if we can either maybe give up one of our later round picks to Denver because like I said, if we can get a second or a third round pick, that would really help. And then it also depends on if this New England trade goes through, what we could get out of that.
I think it will. I really do think it will. I'm praying to God that it does. Robby Anderson, again, thank you for your 2 years of below subpar. Did he have more than 5 touchdowns in the season?
No. He only had, let's see, Robby
Mm-hmm.
only had, if I remember correctly, he only had 3. Yeah, 3. No, 5. He just had 5. That's all he had was
Okay.
5.
So thank you, uh, Robby. I know you dealt with a tough situation with Sam. Again, it's not on Sam because you had a lot of dropsies, but your production can be quickly replaced by Terrace Marshall and Shot Smith, and whoever we pick up in free agency or undrafted free agent.
Now, my issue is if we were to say take maybe Philly's 15th pick, exchange it for our 6, the
Mm-hmm.
the only offensive lineman that I feel would still be a good pickup that we might want to consider with that 15 pick is
Mm-hmm.
perhaps Trevor Penning.
I pray to God we get him. He would be an absolute stud. An absolute stud. I love his nastiness. Love it.
And he's huge, 6'7", 329 pounds.
Yes, love his nastiness. I'm
Dang,
all aboard.
that's a big dude.
That's a big boy, and he
Holy
plays
crap.
like it. He's not a BFN. He's not a BFN.
And then one of the other things they noted, I believe, Derek Stingley Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Word is that he's coming off of a Liz Frank.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
just why he's drafted. He's sliding down boards.
yeah, they have him at number 4 on the Tankathon, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna fall lower.
Yeah. And remember, this was the number one recruit coming out of high school.
Right. And I think that's gonna knock up Ahmad Gardner's stock.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as we get prepared for when we do the mock draft,
Mm-hmm.
something we got to really consider is Philadelphia, Denver, seeing what we could get from them. And time is also going to be a factor because anything can happen, especially with the free agency uh, period coming right around the corner.
Absolutely.
So, oh man, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really interesting. But
I mean, but it's gonna be fun.
yeah, but definitely y'all look forward to that. We're still trying to figure out if we're gonna do maybe 2 to maybe 3 mock drafts. We don't want to get too crazy, and
No.
then we've decided that we are going to do a live reaction stream to the
Yep.
NFL draft.
Yes, sir.
So definitely look forward to that. Uh,
Yeah.
but Mr. Carolina, do you have any final words? Any last things you want to touch on or get in?
Um, I pray and I have faith that the front office will do the right thing. I have the faith that we'll bring back the players that we need to, because again, on paper, if we bring back the players that we should, if we bring back Gilmore,
Hmm.
again, a hometown kid, which would be great for that DB room. If you bring in some offensive linemen, not just rookie, and again, if we're gonna go that route, but make sure you pick the best one, and you re-sign Cam to a 2-year deal to be that bridge quarterback. If it's not for a quarterback this year, maybe it's for the quarterback next year.
Hmm.
But bring back the key players. Have your key players that have not really produced this year. Say, hey, I need you to restructure. If a guy that's produced, Taylor Moton, respect, can restructure his deal, you guys can restructure yours, because we're trying to free up cap space so we can keep our team productive. If our
CMC,
boys do that, Shaq,
Shaq.
talking to you, restructure your deal. You'll still get your money,
Hmm.
but we need you to restructure so we can be more competitive, because us real fans are tired of looking at 5-win seasons.
And Matt Rule, your butt is on the hot seat.
Oh, that's scorching.
Like you're literally sitting directly turned up to high heat on the eyes of a stove kind of
In
hot
fuego.
seat.
In fuego.
You've got to get it right. And it
Mm-hmm.
cannot be anything less than the playoffs. It can't be.
Mm-hmm.
10 wins under your belt are unacceptable. And you have all of these you got veteran coaching staff now.
Mm-hmm.
Look, yes, you're the head coach. For some way, some reason, yes, you're the head coach. Yes, you're going into next season the head coach. But
We don't know why.
these but these people are veterans for a reason, and they
Mm-hmm.
can bring something here. That's why they're here. Just
Yes, sir.
Matt Rule, concentrate on getting it right and do as you're told.
Yeah, please, yeah, do it. Yeah. That's the best way to look at it, yo. Do what you're told, man. Do your job, bro. Just you've not been in this situation before. You have these veteran coaches around you, like you said, for a reason. Let them do their job. Let them put that into your ear, like, yo, this is how you stay productive. This is how you keep your job, Mr. Rule, beyond this year.
And I'll say one more thing to add on to what you said.
Mhm.
Stephon Gilmore, get it done. No questions asked.
Bring him back.
Get it done. He's from Rock
Gilly Lock.
Hill. He's
Local kid.
he's Gilly Lock for a reason. He was an interceptions leader. He's a Super Bowl champion.
Hmm.
What is there to think about? You got young DBs that can be coached up by a veteran who has great hands, the interceptions to show it, and the championship.
Got a ring.
He's got a ring, something we don't have.
Got close twice. Still don't got one.
If Hassan wants to go bye bye, he can go bye bye. But Gilly Lock,
Need it.
do it. No questions asked.
If you can line up J.C. Horn on one side, Stephon Gilmore on the other side, if we bring him D-Jack on a slot, A.J. Bouye on a slot, or C.J. Henderson on a slot, that secondary looking real good to cover. Jeremy Chin at strong safety, and you could put Joe Schmo at the free safety because you have four legit corners and a legit strong safety that can cover up for whatever that free safety is going to be.
Not only that, we've seen a few flashes of Stanley Thomas Oliver III. Who's to say that Stephon Gilmore can't be a piece that helps bring out more of it?
Keith Taylor, we keep forgetting about Keith Taylor.
Who has also shown flashes.
One of them can go play free safety. Why not?
If you
Keith
have
Taylor has the size and speed for it.
and you have an opportunity to center these guys around Stephon Gilmore.
Mm-hmm. You do it. You do it. Why not? Why not? And he wanted. He wants to be here.
His
When
wife
you have
loves
a
it
guy
here.
that, you know what I'm saying? When you got people that want to be here, you keep them here. Charlotte is not a big market. Let's call a spade a spade. We're not a big market, but we're not a small market either. We're kind of like in that in the middle kind of market. If you have a kid that's a local kid that wants to stay here, keep him here. And like Cam wants to stay here. He wanted to stay here the first time. Keep him here. That's called loyalty. Be loyal to your players that are loyal to you.
Indeed, indeed.
Mhm.
Bobby Hicks, we'll let you get the last one in. Bobby Hicks says Keith is super raw though. I
He
mean,
is,
he's a rookie,
but he
but
showed flash.
he definitely showed flashes. I believe, this next year, this sophomore year, I think he has an opportunity to evolve.
He does. He's shown great coverage skills. That's one thing that Keith Taylor has going for him. He's shown that he can get physical with bigger receivers. He struggles a little bit with the smaller, shiftier ones, but he's shown that he can play coverage.
Yes, indeed. And he's gotten quite a start to do that, especially when we were dealing with injuries and they had, his number got called. His number got
Indeed,
called.
he
So
answered. He answered.
so that's why we got depth. But
Mhm.
that'll do it for this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for coming through, chatting it up with us. And
Appreciate you.
we got a lot to look forward to. March has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Draft is the end of next month. Free agency in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of work to do.
We'll be good. I have the ultimate faith in It's front office. Head coach, not so much, but this front office, Scott Fitterer, you did great when you was in Seattle. So bring that same kind of tenacity here to Carolina. I got faith in you.
Yes, indeed. Got to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Carolina, holler at us where we can find you and keep up with you on the social medias.
You can find me, of course, on Baseball Channel Game with my brother here, Jason. You can find us. You can definitely find me here more often. You'll find me anywhere else, but you can also find me on the Bleeding Carolina Blues show here on YouTube as well, and the Men of Honor podcast on Anchor. You can find me on Instagram at Mr. Carolina 4, or I really don't get on Facebook, but you can find me on Facebook at Demetrius Mr. Carolina Brown on Facebook as well.
Good stuff. And also, shout out to those in the chat. Like I said, last video, just the wanting to see, more of Mr. Carolina in these videos. I thank y'all so much for that feedback. And like I said, he's been awesome having him along for the ride. So thank y'all so much for that feedback. I appreciate it. Appreciate it so much.
I appreciate it and I love it, man. I said again, I appreciate my brother Jason being patient with me. I said a lot of y'all may know, you don't know, I'm getting married here soon. So me and my wife are flying back. We're flying back and forth to Miami to get ready for the wedding. We're getting ready, for our new home. And so it's a lot of back and forth. So, once we get everything settled, I promise you we will be giving you guys more content.
But what you can also do while he's getting ready for that, check us out here. But also do me a favor, go over to that Bleeding Carolina Blue podcast. Give a sub, give a like, check out that content. Do it for him. Man's getting married. Go do it for him.
Holla at your boy, man. Holla at your boy.
But this has been another. You got a congrats from Rome's in the chat.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Bobby Hicks says, I love the shows. Thank you so much. There will be more. There will be more. So definitely stay tuned. But this has been another Carolina Panthers talk brought to y'all by Blitzball Champ Gaming. We are your hosts. Myself, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, and
your boy, Mr. Carolina, Bleeding Carolina Blue. Holla at your boy, man.
Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a blessed weekend, and we will see y'all very soon. Good night, everybody.
Deuces.